Welcome to the Visualize Meditations podcast, hosted by your friend Sasha Patil, a Chopra certified meditation teacher. The first step to creating the life of your dreams is to create a clear and compelling vision for what you want for the future. I'll be guiding you on visualization meditation so you can get clear on your deepest desires. Let's get started so you can turn your vision into a reality.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
So, hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. It's your gal pal Sasha. Let me paint the scene for you right now. We are on, what beach are we on?
Dudley Beach.
Dudley Beach in Newcastle, Australia, like 2 hours north of Sydney.
Yep.
And I'm here with my really close friend Craig. We've been having a nice walk and talk, and I'm like, damn, we should really get the mics on right now. This is some profound shit. What the hell? There's a gorgeous sunset in the background, this gorgeous beach. Like, you guys are not getting the full picture of how incredible this is, but it is stunning. So hopefully you guys can see that in this footage. So I have some questions for you.
Yeah, please ask away.
So how do we know each other?
Okay, so we met, I think, in 2012 at Global Youth Leadership Summit, San Diego, California, UCLA.
UCSD. That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
And we went to this camp together for what, 4 years?
Yeah,
5 years?
Yeah, for something like that.
Yeah.
Since 2012 to about 2016.
So we've been friends for over a decade.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah.
crazy. We've kept in contact, which has been wild. It's been fucking awesome.
Lots changed. Lots happened.
Yeah, but also we're like still the same at some level.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think like you say same phone, different software. You just keep updating.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that one. I
Yep.
like that one.
Anyway, what do you got?
What else we got? And it's okay if we go on tangents as well. Sometimes that's a better episode.
Okay.
So what's your story?
Long and complicated. I think everyone's is long and complicated. It really starts, and then there's a middle at around about UPW and Gills time.
What age are you thinking?
This would have been when I was about 12, 13-ish.
Okay.
And I think that it's the same story that I tell when I tell people, what's the most grateful moment of your life? What's your story? I think it's the same. So I'm gonna go down that path.
Okay, yeah.
So in the beginning, when I was Craig, before going to my first kind of Tony event or whatever, I was very shy, retiring kid that could not hold a conversation with anyone, didn't speak with anyone because just didn't know really how to. Very bullied because of that. And as a result, I would just eat away all of my feelings. So by the time it got to year 7, when I went into year 7, I weighed 120 kilos, which in pounds would be like 2.2 pounds the kilo. So just over 250 pounds.
What?
Yeah.
So when you tell people we met at fat camp, you actually meant it really could have been fat camp.
Yeah, it really could have been for me. Well, because that Gills was where we met was actually after the first camp, which I call like my birthday camp. So what ended up happening was it was this real low point where all of these horrible things that were happening culminated, and I got taken in like this really loving person called Lee, who we both know and love. She met me and was like, oh, this kid needs some like loving from like Tony Robbins, from other places, who knows, but he just needs some loving. And she dragged me, virtually kicking and screaming, to my first Robbins camp, which was Unleash the Power Within Sydney, 2012.
Okay.
And that was like the beginning for me.
Okay.
Day 1 happened and I was so skeptical, pre-teenager, being like, this is all crap.
Were you in the youth group?
Yeah, I was in the youth group. And in Sydney, how it used to run, it's not the same anymore, sadly, but there was this huge youth group. There was like up to 30, 40 people in my year.
Yeah.
And it was really like, there was a youth program where they would break out all the time. And they would do like youth activities, including in some years like board breaking and stuff like that.
Okay.
But again, fat kid at fat camp saying, this is bullshit. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm going to get out of this. It's all a bit like hopeless. Like this is all just a bit crap.
Right.
I'm in there for maybe a solid, like it could have only been like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I have drunk the Kool-Aid. I'm like there and I'm like, okay. We go through the Dickens that night, which is like so powerful for me and like really transformative. And right after that, I walked on fire. And I think you know who I am, like that physical touch, hugging is a huge part of who I am.
Yeah.
When I say before that camp, before this moment of the firewalk that we're talking about and the Dickens, I'd only ever hugged my mum, my grandmother, maybe my sister. That's it. I would not have physically touched basically anybody else. I would have stayed in my
Wow.
lane, stayed separate.
Wow.
Part of the Dickens happened, and part of me saw that going on for the rest of my life, and just no way, no how. And with a gentle nudge from Lee to be like, go give people hugs, I gave everyone hugs. We debriefed that afternoon. I was like, man, what do I need to do to
Get more hugs.
to get more of this? This is opportunity. This is the first time where something like this is happening. And I end up in this beautiful room, tired with all these other teenagers, and we've got these amazing youth leaders. Riley Jo Curtin was one of them, if you know her at all from the area.
Yeah.
But so they get up and they say, there's a program that happens in America. It's like this, but it's way better. We're offering 2 kids a free ride to go to the Global Youth Leadership Summit in
Yeah.
San Diego, California.
Yeah.
Plane tickets, Disneyland, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking at this point from like this total point of scarcity before this has happened. And I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to do any of these things, achieve any of these things.
Yeah.
And then that night I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go all out.
Yeah.
And they said that they were going to award the scholarship to go to Gills based on whoever went all out and tried their hardest and put their heart and soul into, doing the activities and growing.
Yeah. Like playing full out.
Yeah. And so for the rest of that weekend, I was jumping, I was dancing, I was hugging, I was speaking, I was debriefing. Absolutely everything that I hated before then. And I was like, I just can't do these things. I was like, no, you have to do it. And I just gave it all to the process and was like, I want this so bad. Like, I want to get this scholarship.
Right.
It comes to the end of this crazy sleep-deprived weekend where I've had I still think, one of the best times of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the room and we're all laughing and joking. And they say, Lee gets up and she says, it's time. We're going to hand out the awards for scholarships to the Global Youth Leadership Summit.
Mm-hmm.
And I can feel my heart in my chest, like my throat is going dry. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm trying not to give it away, play it cool, but I can't hide like what you're feeling when it's that intense and it means that much to you.
Yes.
And I'm at this point, there would have only been 30 of us in the room left with some youth leaders and Lee in there. And she says, and the first scholarship, the person who went hardest out to go to the Global Youth Leadership Summit is Talia Buckton. And it's not me. And it's just, I was like, oh God. And that feeling in your chest where it squeezes a little bit and your stomach like goes a little bit.
Yeah.
It comes back up because you remember there's
It's the
2
second
slots.
one. Yeah.
There's 2 slots.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. Talia went like all out. Like she did so much. Like, I get it. I get why she's number 1.
Right.
Yeah, just please give me the number 2 slot. That's what I'm asking for here.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and my heart is just going and going and going and going. There's a big clap. Everyone's cheering for Talia.
Yeah.
And then Lee says, and the second scholarship, the person who went second hardest this week and who has absolutely blown us all away, that is Jamaica Kanawi. And it wasn't me either. And it was devastating in that moment. Like, but you come to a few realizations all at the same time within that time of not getting that at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew there was 2 scholarships. That was it. I knew that it had been announced now. There's no changing that. And these people, they were my friends. I'd only known them for 2 days, but they were my friends.
Right.
And you have this gut feeling that you're like, oh, that's so not what I wanted to happen, not what I saw. That's not why I was doing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? I've had the best time ever. And I was like standing and clapping for my friends. There's a huge commotion. And then we all went back to sitting back down. And when we were all sitting down, we were all just winding up. And you got this bittersweet tang where you're like, my friends, I'm so bad for them, but I'm so disappointed for me in this moment. And then that kind of goes away and you're just like, it's just been the best ride.
Mm.
And then after a couple of minutes, or it felt like a couple of minutes to me, Lee stands back up and she says, and I don't know how we're going to do it, but Craig Miller, stand up. You're going to the Global Youth Leadership Summit. And just hits me out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I stand up, my mouth opens, my mouth closes. I'm like a fish. Everyone's going crazy, teenagers, and there's a 3rd scholarship.
Yeah.
it just meant so much to me.
Yeah.
And I remember later that night, like just being so tired and coming back to my parents who haven't seen me all week,
Yeah.
like all weekend, because I've been at this camp. And my parents see this happy kid bounding to the car. And it's not a kid they dropped off at the camp, right? This is a different person. I get in the car and Lee's walked me out there as well. And I say, Mum, Dad, I'm going to the Global Youth Leadership Summit in San Diego, California. My dad starts talking. He's, well, I don't know that we got the money for that. And Lee cuts him off and says, no, it's a full ride. He's going. My dad was really not a Kool-Aid drinker at this time. And he was like, oh, it's all a bunch of...
Yeah. Hoopla.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hoopla and other things. So we just, like, my life was... I feel like I call that time like my second birthday.
Yeah.
It was, I will tell you, around about April-ish time, which is significant because I feel like before, like when I had my birthday in December, I celebrated in December, it was all really hard and boring. It's just a better calendar time to celebrate earlier on in the year anyway.
I think so. Actually, our stories are very similar to the CPW. I'm pretty sure I went to my first CPW that same year. I didn't get the scholarship, but same thing. Parents dropped me off. I did not want to go. And at the end of the first day, I was like, oh, and I was so into it.
Yeah.
And I never turned back since. I didn't think I was going to go to Gills, but I ended up going anyway. I think my mom was just like, you're going. I was like, all right, cool, I guess.
If one camp worked, what will two camp?
And then you go every single year after that. And, okay, cool. That's so wild. That's so fucking wild. I love that. So and we just had a low-key conversation about this, but how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
That's a hard one, actually. I know, because what we were talking about on the beach before this, we were talking about writing your own obituary. What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want people to say at the end of all of it? And I've got an easy answer for at the end of everything, what I hope people say about me.
Right.
But what I am right now, I feel like we're not quite there. We're still growing. We're still along that pathway.
Yeah.
I hope people would say that I'm honest, that I'm reliable. And I hope people would also say that I do have vibrance in me. Right now, that would be enough for me right now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's fucking awesome.
What about you?
What about me?
What's the 3 words that you were talking about on the beach?
I think I said, there are 3 different tiers. I said fun, or this is how I'd like to describe myself. Fun, loving, and ambitious, probably. There are other words too. If I had to throw, honest apparently has really come up. I didn't realize I was an honest person until my best friend pointed it out, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know. I wish someone told me. So that would come up, but yeah, I think those are the 3 I'd like to describe myself as. It's just fun, loving, and ambitious. And yeah. Okay. So what's the best piece of advice and the worst piece of advice you've ever received?
Oh, yeah. Best piece is probably, you should, from Talia Buckton and also from Riley Joe Curtin when I was in that first UPW, where they said, what have you got to lose anyway? You've just got to go. You just got to go for it.
Yeah.
That was probably the best advice. Somebody else later on at Gills said all out, which I don't know if you remember this, that became a core part of who I was. I was like, and still am now. I don't want to get to the end of everything and leave something 10% in the tank. I want to
play it full out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's.
And the worst advice I was ever given, I feel like the worst advice I was ever given was play it safe. That's probably, I think, the worst thing anyone ever told me at any point in time.
Yeah. Mine is be realistic.
Yeah.
I hate when people say that. I fucking hate it. So yeah, play it safe is always just okay, dude, play it safe in your life if you want.
Or have a backup plan when people say, that grinds my gears. When
Really?
people say, yeah, they're like, oh, what's your backup plan for, which I get for a business, I get for, a house, I get for these things which are replaceable. But when it's a core belief that you're going for, I just feel like it doesn't have a place to say, what's your backup personality? If you can't be,
if you can't be this thing you want.
Yeah. If you can't be honest, if you can't be loving, playful, energetic, if you can't be these things,
Yeah.
what's your plan B? Yeah. That's a horrible thing to say to someone, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. So we're at the beginning of 2025. What was your biggest lesson of last year?
Oh, yeah. I would say that there are a lot. It was a really tumultuous and challenging year at times because, like, where I am with what I do for work, like, there was lots of ups, lots of downs. But I think that from it, one of the things I learned is you have to fight for what you do believe in, and tempering that by saying you have to do that respectfully. You have to be out here trying to do the best you can and stand on principle and say, you know what, I'm not accepting that. But also with a little bit of grace for the other people, being like, it's all right if they don't see right now, if we disagree or whatever, but I cannot let this slide. This is what it's got to be.
It's like finding that balance between fighting for what you want, but also and what's right, but also being tactful and uh open-minded and empathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like finding that balance, and sometimes it's fucking tricky.
Yeah. And of those two, the balance is better to be standing up for what you truly believe,
Yes,
like stand and
absolutely.
deliver.
Yeah, stand and fucking deliver. That's right. What's a childhood dream that still lives within you?
Oh, yeah. So when I was a really like preschool age kid,
Yeah,
they got us to do like a careers kind of thing. What would you like to be when you grow up?
yeah.
And when I was a kid, I don't know why, I resonated with Inspector Gadget. I don't know if you ever saw Inspector Gadget,
Yes.
but I really wanted to just be someone who had a solution to these creative problems. And at the time, I thought I want to be an inventor and I want to invent things.
Yeah.
And what I've realized now is I don't enjoy the inventing so much as I really enjoy a problem and like working through a neat solution to solve that problem. And it was a childhood dream of mine to see problems that are significant to other people and help them in a way that they hadn't thought of before. And I
Right.
feel really happy that's something that I get to do now.
That
And
is
like,
something you have to do every day.
yeah,
Every
yeah,
day.
which is quite nice.
Craig is training to be a doctor, everybody. By the way, just in case you didn't know. So, is there a goal that you're working on right now?
I think right now my biggest goal is academic. So I am in the process of doing this training program and starting this large part of study. It's really corny to say I'm training to do this, but it's where a lot of my energy and my time is going right now.
Yeah.
It is nice to see every now and then, like you realize, oh, the problems that I couldn't solve a year or two ago, I now have all these novel and creative ways to, meaningfully help people with their lives in a way that they can apply.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably my goal. My biggest one, it would be academic, and I would say we're getting there.
You're getting there. You're on the path. You're like actively working towards it.
What?
It's fucking awesome.
I'll give you one. I'll give you a challenging one.
Give me a challenging one.
Yeah. What's one goal that you didn't achieve from when you were a child?
A goal I didn't achieve when I was a child. I really wanted to be like a musician. I really wanted to be in music. I really wanted to do that. And then when it came down to it, and I like started playing guitar and piano and did the talent shows, did the singing thing. And I was like, as a kid, I just didn't want to put in the work to practice. So, but without practice comes zero skill and zero mastery. So I just didn't put in the reps. I didn't put in the work, and I'm not doing music.
Yeah, that's fair.
I could appreciate music, but I have a goal. I think it's going to come to life in me this year. Something I'm committed to learning how to do is learning how to DJ.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, I know everyone and their fucking mom is like a DJ now, but it's something I've like always been really interested in. And like, I could put together a fire fucking playlist. And I could hear in my head like a song and then hear another song on top of it.
Yeah.
So I just like, I want to learn how to do that. I want to be that cool fucking person, like, and be able to do that.
Yeah.
Is there like a childhood dream that you didn't accomplish?
One that's still in the works, not quite there yet.
Yeah.
I always wanted to get like a house or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I wanted this so badly, but I want it to be like a not great house.
And fix it up.
Yeah. And I just want to see it get good. I don't even really care about living in it, I don't think.
You just want to flip a house.
Well, I mean, I don't even know. I don't even care what really happens to it at the other end. I really enjoy working and helping something get to a nice little picture in a physical, tangible way that you're like, yeah, this is good. It's better than when I came here.
That's really cool.
But that's on the horizon.
That's like still, all of these dreams are like still a possibility.
Yeah.
And we're like young motherfuckers, so we could totally do it. Okay. We had a chat about this already with your first story, but is there like a magic moment that's happened to you in maybe the last, I don't know, like a magic moment that like really stands out for you in your life?
That's my number one.
That's your number one?
That's my greatest moment of all times.
Okay.
I've got others which are
But
fairly.
you answered it. We just gotta let that one sit. We just gotta let that one sit. Okay. So is there something that you used to desire that is now like a normal part of your life?
Yeah. So, I mean, you were doing these as well, the vision boards.
Yeah.
Like, I made a vision board from 2012 through till 2022, I think was my last vision board.
Okay. Do you make one every year?
Not, I
Or
haven't.
just like one vision board for that decade?
Yeah, oh no, I make a new vision board every year.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like last year, I didn't make a new vision board, but I did make a poster, and I'll show you that poster when we get home. It's not a vision board though. It has been described as cringe, but I don't care. Haters gonna
Who the
hate.
fuck cares?
Yeah. And I would say on these vision boards, it's just been so incredible to go back and see what those goals were, what my desires were. In 2012, my goal was to finish high school. In 2013, my goal was to go to uni and be a teacher. In 2014, my goal was to go to uni and do chemistry. I then got a scholarship. I like graduated with pretty good marks in high school, and I went and got a scholarship at university that I went to study chemistry. And it was like a full ride plus some. It was really
Hell
nice.
yeah.
And that was like just like this pinnacle of like actualization of all these things, all these other like qualities that I wanted to have and things I wanted more abundance of in my life had come along the way as well. And I'd gotten to that point where I felt like everything had been achieved. And then the really beautiful part of life, the part that I just hated so much that time was the suck. Like I went into this beautiful thing, like all the cards lined up. It's like a fairy tale movie almost. I had it basically everything that I wanted. And I realized what I wanted, I didn't want. It just wasn't for me. And then just making that transition out of that degree, studying chemistry, changing huge aspects of my personal life, relationships, things like that. My friendships completely outside of a Gills space. A lot of the people I went to high school with, we went on different paths and we said, that's what I need to do with this. And then the rebuild from that was also really nice to be like, well, these are things that I want. And these are things that like I'm working towards. Like some of them are moving to Newcastle. That was a really nice thing to be able to do. Other ones are like studying high level medicine. In my mind, what I'm doing, I feel is quite interesting to me and challenging. So I feel like I've gotten that one as well. So on and so forth. Like there's a couple of other examples, but to keep it brief there.
See, there is so much, can relate. There is so much value in blowing up your life and starting to fuck over.
Yeah.
Because then you can blow up your life and you can be like, what is aligned for me? What is in congruence with my character? What do I want? And you can rebuild from scratch and really just build something incredible, as opposed to like continuing on this momentum of life that you're like halfway through, you're like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah.
What am I doing? Do I really want this? Is this really who I am? I don't know. So there is value in just starting the fuck over. And that's basically what I'm doing right now. So
Hell yeah.
Okay. So are you feeling like fulfilled and happy in life right now?
I would say in a 2-part answer, yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because the things that I get to do and like the kind of spectrum of some of the like people I get to interact with is so rewarding and so fulfilling.
Yeah.
But there's like a song. It's like I still haven't found what I'm looking for, and the cover by Gustave Trebion is like in my mind, like that just. It's just like there's something else. I don't know what it is, but there's something else that's out there, which is nice. I think we were also talking about this earlier. Like I really enjoy feeling like you've got most of the pieces of the puzzle, but you don't necessarily know everything that's in the rock fall.
Right, right. And that's like life is you're constantly in the pursuit of growing and getting better and in the pursuit of having more of you want. And this is the Tony Robbins thing as well. It's like science of achievement, art of fulfillment. It's like you can always strive for more. You can always improve. You can always get better. You can always strive for more, but then also like that balance between that and then fulfillment and feeling happy and feeling grateful for what you do have and where you are right now. And it's like that balance and that dance in life. And life is like constantly, I don't think one person's ever going to get to a place to be like, actually, I'm 100% fulfilled and there's nothing else I want ever again. That just doesn't happen. Like you get to a place in life, you're like, wow, I'm like so grateful for these areas and like these other areas need some more love, or like things are great in my health, but my career needs work or whatever. It really, that's like that's like the whole fucking point of life, I think, is to just pursue it. Pursue the fuck out of it. So how old are you right now?
As another fun fact about me, I stopped counting my age when I was about 23.
Okay.
And I actively don't think about it. So I was born in 1997 in December.
Okay, got it. So my question around that is, I'm currently 26, and this kind of makes sense for someone who's, I guess, like it goes in hand with another question I have that like sometimes I interchange them is, if future you were to come back to this moment, what wisdom would you give yourself?
I'll probably drop a few stocks. No, I feel like if I knew and it was like an unshakable kind of, yes, there's absolute certainty that no matter what you do in this kind of spectrum of things that you're looking at, it all works out. I feel like that would be really, really nice to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Also, though, if I knew that, I don't think I would work as hard or do the things that I do.
Right.
Like,
knowing that it's all going to work out.
Yeah.
But don't you already know that's all going to work out?
Yeah, mostly.
Right.
You know, you got most
in the work though.
Yeah, you got most of the puzzle pieces. You're like, I'm pretty sure things will be all right.
And everything's fine.
Yeah, but at the same time, that it's so much better to watch a game of basketball, soccer, rugby, if there's a couple points in it. And it could go either way. If you're like, this is why I'm here. I'm not here because I want to know that this other team definitely wins. I'm sure you've had it where you find out like a team wins a game. You say, well, there's no point watching the game now. Like,
you already know what happens. There's no excitement. There's no story.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, they won 100-0. Okay, whatever. Time to move on. Like,
and it wouldn't even matter if it was 99 to 100. Like it's the same. If you knew it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If you know the ending, why read the story?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true.
So I feel like it would be like great advice, but it would also be like, it would change things.
But at the same time, it is true everything is going to work out.
Yeah.
It's just going to work out whatever way it's supposed to.
Yeah. I have a mantra that one of our Gills coaches gave me a long time ago. And by gave, I mean, I heard him saying, and I thought, that is really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal that.
What is it?
It's 3 words. It's the gifted, guided, blessed.
Gifted, guided, blessed.
And for me, those words have been really comforting as a mantra to like my personal kind of like monologue. When events are challenging, in the broader scheme of things, I always feel like my life is touched by blessing. These things that have happened, if it had happened any butterfly wing differently, it wouldn't have been as rich. It wouldn't be where I am.
Right. Okay. So we are all gifted, we're guided, and we're blessed.
Hell yeah.
I'm sitting here looking at this gorgeous sunset. And I'm just like, I feel gifted and fucking guided and blessed. I feel so gifted that I've been able to call you a friend for over a decade.
Me too.
I feel gifted and blessed that we've stayed in contact for this long. I fucking love you. Thanks for being my friend.
Love you too.
Thanks for hosting me. Thanks for showing me around your beautiful country, continent, island. And I feel blessed to know you. Thank you. And that's a wrap, motherfuckers.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. Please follow, subscribe, leave a review, all of the good things. If you want to connect more, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Living Your Vision. So what are you waiting for? Get out there, create the life of your dreams, and we will see you next week.